You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
All right, folks. Well, happy Thursday evening. I'm sorry. This is Wednesday, dude. I can't even remember what day it is. I'm so ready for the weekend. I've lost track. All right, so this is America Off the Rails. We are live right here on KLRNradio.com. Also going over to CRNTalk.com, AMFM247.com, Red Nation Rising Radio, and so many podcast sites I can't keep up with them all anymore. Now, I will have a guest with us in just a moment as soon as we finish the opening of the show. Mr. Jackson Richman, who you may know from Red Alert Politics as well as American Action News, and also who hosts a show on WGRW Radio out of D.C., is actually going to be joining me this evening because we are going to be talking about some happenings that he is actually front and center for. A lot of the college protests and special snowflakes that are completely freaking out over the Donald Trump election. Now, I have a couple things that I want to say about that before I bring Jackson on, and we've got some time to kill before the show officially opens. So I just kind of want to have my little say about this for just a moment, so bear with me here. Now, as far as the special snowflakes, the ones that are in college right now, they're living on mommy and daddy's dime. They're sitting in their classes right now, sucking on their thumbs, coddling their safety pins, petting their therapy dogs, and playing with Play-Doh. Dude, seriously, your great-grandparents were saving the world when they were your age, and you are hiding in a college campus on your parents' dime, sucking your thumb, freaking out because of the person who won the presidency. Now, I want to remind each and every one of you that you same people, you same crazy people, you crazy kids, were laughing and pointing and freaking out when Donald Trump was saying if it was rigged and we didn't win it, then the right needed to riot. The right needed to grab the pitchforks and the torches, and we needed to march on D.C. Now, let me tell you firsthand, because, if we were going to do that, it probably would have happened in 2008. Probably would have happened maybe in 2012. It wouldn't have happened again because here's the difference, kids. We understand that this is grown-up time. Elections are very important things. They matter. You know what irritates me about most of these people that are protesting right now, that are freaking out over this election? Guess what they didn't do? Go ahead. Take a guess. Guess what they didn't do. You want to guess? Just one little guess. They didn't vote. Most of them are freaking out right now, coming unglued, completely coming apart at the seams, and they didn't even bother to take part in the vote that might have made things go the other way. Most of the people that I have talked to that are upset and irritated and frustrated because they didn't get their way, they didn't even bother to participate. They didn't even bother to show up. And you know what that is? That is a direct correlation to this participation trophy mentality that is sweeping our education system and has been for a few decades now. Because they didn't think they had to show up, because it didn't matter how hard they tried in school, they still got participation trophies. Most of them still managed to get pushed through to the next grade because, hey, who cares? It's just a mark on a paper. Little Ricky, go ahead. Go back over into that corner. Eat some more paint chips. It's all right. We'll get you through. We'll get you through to the first grade. No problem. Go ahead. Go. Wait. You really shouldn't be putting the glue bottle there, Ricky. You really shouldn't be doing that. Okay. So fine. Go ahead and do that. But that is where we are in a nutshell. Now, again, when we come back, now that the show is officially about to open, we will have with us Mr. Jackson Richman. Now, we do need to take a really quick break, pay a couple of bills, and when we come back, we'll have the official opening of the show. This is Rick Robinson. Right back in a minute.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-757-2782. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-757-2782. That's 877-757-2782.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Listen, folks, I'm here to tell you our political system is broken. The two-party system is dead. They have become one and the same.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host.
And in a surprising and disturbing move today, the Libertarian vice presidential candidate just agreed that rifles are weapons of mass destruction, and people on the terror watch list should not be allowed to purchase guns. So in other words, the party of freedom is liberty for me, but not for thee. Go figure.
Compromise where you can. Where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is something right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and right now joining me live is Jackson Richman right here on KLRNradio.com. Good evening, Jackson. How are you? Maybe.
Hello, Rick.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thought maybe we lost you for a second there.
No, I'm still alive, thank God.
Well, you know, you've been right in the middle of ground zero for the last few days, so lots of folks have been kind of wondering what's been going on. All right, so since you are kind of right in the middle of one of these big protest groups, why don't you go ahead and start off by giving us any thoughts or impressions that you have, and then I have an audio clip that you've asked to play. We might as well get that going, too.
Sure. I was at the anti-Trump protest on George Washington University's campus yesterday, and based on the turnout, it looked like there were a few hundred students. Definitely not 1,000. They were in the student plaza, and it was planned as a walkout, in that students would wear black and walk out of their classrooms at the top of the hour and gather in the student plaza and basically vent the day away. There were student groups sponsoring the event from the GW Progressive Student Union, or as I like to call them, the GW Regressive Student Union. SJP, which stands for Students for Justice in Palestine, or as I like to call it, Students Justifying Pinocchio. The Feminist Union, and other leftist groups on campus. And one student talked about her, how to put this cleanly, one of her private parts, this reference is in reference to a 2005 video that was leaked recently where Donald Trump talked about how to...
you mean how he likes to grab the kitty cats?
Grab them by the you-know-what.
Grab him by the kitty cat.
Exactly. I can't say it on air. And it was just a bunch of leftist rhetoric, and in the end, one student said, we couldn't, and I think you have the clip, I don't know if you can play it, but we weren't able to get a permit. However, should we be able to protest without a permit? This is the United States of America. The police are a bigoted, heterosexual institution. Even though the police were there to protect them, there's a part of me that says, you know what, maybe they should have experimented without the police, had no police presence, But the other part of me says, you know what, it's human life. It needs to be protected. I can't be wishing ill will on someone, and to do so would be sadistic. So,
actually, we do have the clip.
Clip.
Yeah, we've got it right here. I've got it queued up right now. Hang on.
We did not have time to apply for a protest permit, which is something apparently we need to do in the United States of America, in our nation's capital. The police are part of a racist, hetero-patriarchal, heterosexist system. We have to comply.
I identify as transgender, and I will tell you,
it
was one of the most difficult decisions I have ever made in my life. And there are many other women, men, and individuals out there who also identify as transgender and are literally scared for their lives.
Then we need to make sure that being so close to the White House is safe for our students.
The George Washington University is to become a sanctuary for undocumented students.
We reject the president-elect. We reject the president-elect. We reject the president-elect. We reject the president-elect.
Hey guys.
Yeah, Rick.
Hang on just a second. All right, there we go.
Yeah, so that's a taste of the GW Snowflakes for you. And as we were marching out, I heard a student say, "You're not going back to class. You're marching in the street." Translate that into what you said earlier at the top of the hour. You're wasting your parents' money. Go protest. I mean, it's just madness and ignorance. That's what happened. I mean, look, this whole election cycle has made me want to vomit. Thankfully, it's over. But the aftermath still makes me want to puke. So that's my spiel.
Well, yeah, but it's interesting that you bring that up because you and I have actually talked a couple of times throughout this election cycle, and neither one of us were on the side of Trump. We kept hoping beyond hope that somebody was going to pull off a miracle and he was not going to wind up being the president-elect. The issue is he is now the president-elect. I may not have wanted him. I may not have voted for him, and I'm catching all 9 kinds of heck for that because people are still like, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't vote for Trump. I didn't support him because I think he's crazy. I've been telling everybody that.
Same here.
I didn't.
I voted for neither.
I've been telling everybody that from the beginning. Why would I change? Why would I change my story now just because I happen to be wrong about how this election cycle was going to turn out? But let me tell you so far what I'm afraid I'm not wrong about. And that is that so far, from some of the choices he's beginning to make, I think we're looking at a carbon copy of the Obama administration. One case in point, and then I'll let you talk because I know you're the guest. The posting of Bannon as his policy advisor. Does anybody remember when the right made fun of the fact that Obama created that position specifically for Valerie Jarrett? And we talked about how it was something that he really shouldn't have been doing, and how if there was a Republican in office right now, that wouldn't have happened. Well, guess what? He didn't get rid of it. He didn't dispose of it. He didn't remove it. He didn't squelch it. He put Bannon in it. And I don't know Bannon personally, but I've done research about Bannon, and I've listened to people that do know him personally.
Yeah, I wrote about him in New Voice magazine. But I don't think Trump's administration is going to be a carbon copy of the current administration. Working with Speaker Ryan, they're going to basically undo Obama's policies. Obama has no legacy. Now, in terms of unfriendly rhetoric, sure, but in terms of policies like government regulations and taxes, I think it's going to be the flip side of the Obama administration. Maybe it's the right-wing version of the Obama administration in terms of atmosphere. But to say carbon copy, I think is a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of a stretch, but let me give you an example. And again, he hasn't been sworn in yet, so I don't know if any of what he's talking about now is going to happen. But does anybody remember the special prosecutor for Hillary that's now pretty much been walked back because they're good people? Does anybody remember the immediate repealing and replacing of Obamacare? Problem is, nobody heard the replace part, because when they first started realizing what he was saying after he was elected, they were like, oh my God, why does he need to replace it? I thought he said he was going to repeal it. Then 3 days later, he's like, well, we're going to get rid of most of it. But there's parts of it that we're going to have to keep because some of it was a good idea.
Well, I mean, the part about letting someone be on their parents' plan until 26, I think that's fair. I mean, but most of it will be gone. There'll probably only be a couple aspects that will be in the new version, which in order to get rid of the old version, Obamacare will have to be repealed. So this isn't keeping Obamacare. This is taking a couple of ideas out of the thousands and thousands of pages of Obamacare. So, and I think to freak out at this time is immature.
Oh, no, I'm not freaking out at all.
Premature. And also, Trump is not taking the oath of office. I want to see who he surrounds himself with. Okay, we have Ryan Priebus, who I think, look, he's driving me crazy, but I'm glad he's no longer part of the RNC. And Bannon, who's an anti-Semitic pig. But let's see who he appoints as Secretary of State, which I hope it's John Bolton, because we need that foreign policy experience and expertise. We need someone who is the flip side of John Kerry, who has been nothing but a disaster and a joke, especially making a deal with Iran over its nuclear weapons program. And we also need to see who will appoint as AG and just in the other positions. Let's not jump to conclusions.
All right, speaking of jumping to conclusions, we got to jump to a break. We'll be right back here in a couple minutes.
It's time to hear the truth about America.
Helps if I hit the right button.
That was a great transition.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. the few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Folks, welcome back to America Off the Rails. This is Rick Robinson. I'm your host around these parts, and we do have with us today Mr. Jackson Richman, who you may know from WGRW Radio, or also possibly from Red Alert Politics, as well as American Action News, where I do occasionally contribute when I can find time to write stuff. We have been talking so far about special snowflakes. Now, Jackson, I want to change tacks for this next segment because before I realized that we really had to take a break, we had started talking about the fact that you and I had been kind of compatriots, so to speak, when it came to Trump because we weren't quite ready to accept it, just weren't ready to deal. And I mean, even I have been saying from like the minute that I knew he won, look, I didn't vote for him. I'm going to do my best to support him for as long as I can. And I think everybody needs to quit with the rhetoric and just give the guy a shot. It's the same thing that we all tried to do in 2008, at least until we figured out that Obama was completely insane and a socialist leftist idiot. And I mean, like you said, before we took the break, he hasn't even been sworn in yet. I think we need to give him a chance. What do you think?
I agree. Actually, can I let you in on a dirty secret?
Uh-oh. Yes.
In 2012, I voted for Barack Obama.
Why does that somehow not surprise me?
Whoa, okay.
I always knew you were a traitor. No, I'm just playing. No, dude, I mean, look, seriously.
Oh.
I'm just playing and you know it. But no, I mean, seriously,
who
you
vote
for?
See, because you talk about giving Obama a chance in 2008. 2012 was the first time I was able to vote, and I was still on the leftist center, and I voted for Obama. I just got the wrong impression about Romney, thinking that he wasn't for the middle class. And, and I 120%, or I should say, if there's such a thing as infinity percent, regretted. And what was a wake-up call was when I got to the college campus, as paradoxical as it sounds, and realized, okay, well, his programs aren't working. Obamacare is failing. His stimulus is failing. What he's doing is not working, and that's when I was able to look on the right and see, okay, well, apparently Reagan was successful, lowering taxes, fiscal responsibility, and such. And then I started reading Charles Krauthammer's book, Things That Matter, and I saw Krauthammer on TV numerous times before, and then I adopted him as an inspiration of mine, and thankfully I got to meet him last year after interning at the Weekly Standard. And which I got to go to the Fox News studio with my former colleague, Steve Hayes. And reading Kronheimer's book, Things That Matter, I was able to see the right side of the political spectrum and how conservatives and liberals want the same thing. It's just, education for all and such. It's how we go about those polls is where the two sides differentiate.
Hey, Jackson, I hate to cut you off, but we're at bottom of the hour. We've got to take another really quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue the conversation and Jackson's reaction to this election. I am Rick Robinson. You're listening to America Off the Rails. We'll be right back.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
All right, folks, welcome back. We are live, and I still have my guest Jackson Richman with me here, and we've actually been talking about his lapse into voting for Obama back in 2012, which I actually admitted before we went to break it wasn't really a surprise. Not that I'm holding it against him, because I don't really care who anybody votes for. I'm just glad he eventually realized that the guy's policies weren't working, as apparently so did most of America, since Hillary Clinton only managed to carry 15 counties. Now, speaking of that, I have to bring this up because I thought it was rather amusing. So Senator Barbara Boxer yesterday puts out a tweet that we need to disband the Electoral College because it's not fair, because Hillary Clinton got the popular vote but not the White House. Now, again, I pointed this out to her on Twitter, but I'm going to say it again on the air, kind of like I did last night on both shows. Let's not forget, kiddies, she only won 15 counties. There are 77 counties in my state alone. So even if you equate that to my 77 counties, if you take 15 of those counties and give them to her, even in my state, that would have been less than a third. So you take the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of counties, and just because they're the ones that are the most densely populated, that she managed to win, she should get the presidency. And for those of you that are making all this noise about how we need to do away with the Electoral College because popular vote rules and blah, 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 guess what, kids? That's really not how this works. It's not how any of it works, to be quite frankly honest. And it's also a dumb idea, because then California and New York pick the president every single time. For you 18 to 25 demographic that are almost solidly blue, you would love it until you got older and realized how the world usually actually works, which is, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, a blending of both sets of policies. If you go too far either direction, you lose. And that's one of the things that I think the country might have finally started figuring out, because Trump is not really a full-on conservative either. But he's somebody that said, hey, I'm going to get these things done. These are things that I can do. Now it's time for him to put up or shut up. And he hasn't been sworn in yet, so I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But if he does what Obama did and takes everything that he said in his speech, throws it right back in everybody's face and says, screw you, I'm the president, I'm going to do what I want, then I will fight him tooth and nail, just like I did during both Obama terms, the end of the Bush term, and if I have to, whatever time Trump has. And that's just how it's going to be. Jackson? Yep. Oh, you are still there. I thought I lost you again.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Rick?
Other than the ones I just gave out for like 5 solid minutes, not too many. Why? What's up?
No, I mean... So I just wish people would actually look at the quantitative more than the qualitative data.
And what do you think they would find if they did that?
They'd be sucking their thumbs.
Wait, there are lots of people that are already sucking their thumbs. So you're saying you
So they'd be sucking both thumbs.
I'm not sure this conversation is going the way that I thought it was going to go. So just to kind of back it up.
No, I mean, it's just they're not willing to hear the other side. That's the thing. It's ignorance and arrogance. And arrogance is the reason why Trump won. Arrogance is the Trump won.
I agree that arrogance in some ways is part of what caused Trump to win. I also think that our polling, the way we poll, is completely outdated, so it's not really giving anybody a good perspective anymore, because something that I don't think anybody really took into account, most of the population today doesn't even have cell phones. But if you talk to the polling companies and how they do things, they only poll people with landlines, because it was the only number that was available for the longest time, and also the only one that was traceable for the longest time. Then we also had the closet voters for Trump. I actually talked to people that all the way through the election told me, no, I'm not voting for that crazy bastard. It's not going to happen. And then the day after the election, they're like, hey, man, how you doing? I was like, well, I'm a little weirded out by what happened because I didn't really see it coming. And they're like, well, I have a confession. I know I told you I wasn't going to do it, but I voted for Trump. And I heard that from friends all over the country that kept telling me, oh no, the dude's crazy. There's no way I'd vote for him. I'm not voting for her either, but there's no way I'm voting for him. And then I started hearing from them within a few days of the election. They're like, man, I got to tell you, I did it. I pulled the lever. Well, of course you voted, but what are you talking about? I pulled the lever for Trump. I know you didn't like him, but I just couldn't even run the risk of the possibility that Hillary Clinton could become president. And that is actually what cost the left the votes this year. It wasn't it was arrogance on the part of the media. It was also arrogance on the part of the Clinton administration, but also the Clinton machine, and also the fact that really when it comes right down to it, there were people that knew who they were voting for, and they weren't telling anybody who they were voting for, so there was no way to gauge them. Not to mention the first-time voters that nobody ever polls, that fell pretty heavily with Trump. And then you have the interesting, again, fact that I think I brought up in the opening monologue. Most of the people that are protesting right now, and they've been burning things, breaking things, and screaming and yelling, we reject the president-elect, most of them didn't vote. So why exactly are they mad? Because they might have been able to stop this if they were so afraid of it happening if they would have bothered to vote. Just my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't vote, you can still have an opinion. It's called the First Amendment and your conscience. However, yes, it was so close that maybe their votes could have prevented a Trump presidency.
They might have. I mean, who knows? All right, so before we really get into anything else, we actually are already coming back up on another break, so we're going to have to take a really quick break here in just a couple minutes, or actually just a few seconds. When we come back, we're actually going to start winding things down a little bit, I think. I want to get your perspective, though, now that, because, again, we were pretty avid Never-Trumpers, and now we're kind of stuck with Trumpers. So I want to kind of get your perspective on that when we come back. But this is Rick Robinson. You are listening to America Off the Rails. We will be right back here in just a couple minutes.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-757-2782. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-757-2782. That's 877-757-2782.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and we have been talking with Jackson Richman of Red Alert Politics and American Action News, and we've been talking, because he actually is a student at George Washington University, about the protesters that have been kind of hanging out and basically disrupting classes at George Washington University. But we have also kind of been talking about the fact that he and I have actually been never Trump, and now we're kind of stuck with Trump. So we're both trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. So, I mean, is there anything that you've seen so far in any of the preliminary picks that he's made that has given you either pause or hope? I mean, you'd mentioned Bolton earlier. I have to admit, I would be pretty stoked if Ambassador Bolton was named Secretary of State. I have a feeling they're probably going to go with Giuliani, though, only because he's been such a trooper the entire time. But I'm not sure he's going to be a better choice. But is there anything other than that particular pick that has given you pause or maybe given you some hope? I was kind of stoked when Chris Christie got removed as the transition lead, but that's just me.
Yeah, Jeff Sessions for Secretary of Defense. I mean, he does have military experience. However, I think he'd be better suited as the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I think there are better options as Secretary of Defense, like General Mike Flynn. Even though he'd need a waiver, but I don't think that would be difficult to get.
No, I mean, probably not. So what is it about...
Mike Flynn has been a trooper for Trump. You want to talk about a trooper for Trump? General Mike Flynn has been one.
Well, no, I don't...
I think Rudy will be Secretary of Homeland Security, which is a position Trump offered him during his campaign if Trump were to win the White House. Trump has won the White House. I think he should follow through on that promise and give Giuliani Secretary of Homeland Security.
So, just your reaction, gut reaction, when you found out that Ben Carson was turning down a posting with the Trump administration, what were your thoughts? Because I have to admit, I was a little shocked when I read his response.
I was a bit shocked. I thought Carson was going to be either Surgeon General or Secretary of Health and Human Services. However, I do respect his decision. I think it's an honest one. He doesn't feel prepared for the job. So, decided to be candid and say, I'm not someone who is qualified. So I do find that ironic considering that he ran for president. But I guess he realized his shortcomings as someone not suited to serving government, and I applaud that honesty.
Well, yeah, I guess that was my thing. Cause,
you don't want to admit the faults.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, the oddness to me is, he went all in for Trump and supported a guy that basically called him a pathological liar, which everybody assumed at that point he was doing that because he was trying to angle for an appointment. And that's what everybody's assumption was. And, we've kind of figured he was on the short list for either Surgeon General or Secretary of HHS, which wound up being the position that he was offered. But I just found it ironic that a man that was running for the top of the heap basically said, well, I don't really feel like I'm qualified to run that position because I've never really had any government experience. Now, yes, was it a candid answer? Yes. But you're telling me that you don't feel comfortable with a cabinet position, but you wanted to be the one filling those cabinet positions. How are you going to be comfortable at the top of the heap when you can't even fit in somewhere in the middle? Because, I mean, see that...
Most likely he realized shortcomings during his campaign.
Yeah, you may have a point there. But to me...
You learned a lesson.
I mean, to me, it goes back to something that I've always told everybody, because I usually wind up, no matter where I wind up, at some point I wind up in management. Usually winds up either middle management or somewhere towards the top of the heap. But it's one of those things where, like, when I went to work for Southwest, within like 90 days of me being there, they're like, well, we want you to apply for the team lead when it opens in a couple of months. I'm like, I've only been here 90 days. I'm still under probation. as an agent. There is no way that I'm going to take on the responsibility of running an entire team of people when I'm still trying to figure out the rules for myself. So, I mean, him making that statement makes perfect sense to me. But trying for the top job just to turn out a lower position makes absolutely no sense to me. But maybe that's just me.
Well, Rick, I mean, it looks like Carson may have learned his lesson while on the campaign trail. Yeah. You know, I mean, we have to wait and see. But you know what? I appreciate his honesty. People wouldn't be able to do that in Washington.
Well, this is true. I mean, I guess you'd know better.
Give credit where due.
I was going to say, I guess you'd know better than I do. You spend most of your time around there. That's one of the things that Bryce, my co-host for Finding Common Ground, has been bragging about, because he's like, dude, I can walk to the White House from here. I was like, whatever, dude, shut up.
I'm sure Carson will be able to do something in the private sector. I mean, he has his Carson Scholars Program for underprivileged students who excel academically. So, you know, I'm sure he's going to do some great stuff in the private sector. His story is inspiring, how he overcame struggling grades and anger management issues to become a pioneer in the medical field and separate conjoined twins at birth.
All right, folks, we've got to take another really quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue this discussion about Ben Carson.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, believe it or not, we are almost officially out of time, so So I want to give my guest, Jackson Richman, last couple minutes to wrap up any final thoughts that he may have, give out social media contacts, tell them anywhere they can keep up with you when you're not on the air with me, etc.
Well, I think after this election, I think one thing is certainly clear, that it's time for people to start acting like adults. We need less pathos and more ethos and logos in the political discourse. We need to think and analyze less emotionally and more critically. That's my final word.
Very well said. Very well said. All right. So as far as what you do when you are not on the air with me and you are you're a full-time student at George Washington University, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
I contribute for Red Alert Politics, American Action News, and New Voices magazine.
See, the New
and
Voices,
Campus Reform.
I'm going to say the New Voices magazine is the one I always forget. And what was that last one again?
Campus Reform. And you can follow me on Twitter at Jackson Richman, JacksonRichman.
So wait a minute.
All in lowercase letters.
So wait a minute. Just to be clear, that audio that I just played, which was from Campus Reform, you're actually affiliated with those crazy people?
Campus Reform. I'm a campus correspondent.
Oh, nice. Okay. Meh. I guess it is what it is. I don't know. I was watching a lot of their videos today when you sent me the link for that one, because I found some others that I'm probably going to use for a show tomorrow. I'm just like, those people are just a little bit nuts. Just a little bit. So, I don't know. Final thoughts. What is your just gut reaction to these people that are all over college campuses right now using therapy dogs and eating pizza and playing with Play-Doh? What if all of them were listening to you right now? What would you tell them?
I'm sorry, what?
If all of these special snowflakes all across the country right now that have been sitting on college campuses eating pizza, petting therapy dogs, and playing with Play-Doh, if you could talk to every single one of them right now, what would you tell them?
I tell them, grow up. The only way you're going to be able to change the world is through action, not words. Actions speak louder than words. You're mad. Harness that energy into something good. But don't ostracize. It's one thing to criticize. It's another to demonize. And the only way to foster conversation and bridge the divide is through conversing, not ostracizing.
Very well said, very well said. And I think I said pretty much all I wanted to say in the opening monologue when I said, guys, your grandparents were saving the world or great-grandparents were saving the world when they were your age, and you are cowering in a college campus because you don't like who was just elected president. That in and of itself speaks volumes. And the fact that, again, you were the same folks who, when Donald Trump was talking about having people rise up if the election was rigged, and now you guys are the ones that are throwing fits and temper tantrums all because you don't like the results. Very telling from me. And again, I'm not a Trump fan. I was not a Trump supporter. I did not vote for him. My hope is that I was terribly wrong and that he's going to wind up being a good president, and that maybe in 4 years, if given the opportunity, I will actually feel like I can support him and vote for him. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that if the Trump administration goes well, it will wind up being Pence that runs in 4 years, not Trump, because I doubt he's going to want to run again at 74. But on that note, folks, we are out for the night. I have got to make way for the next show coming up, and that is the Rhino Report right here on KLRNradio.com. Want to thank again my guest, Jackson Richman, who's actually kind of become a recurring guest. He's actually won a few rounds with some folks on one of our post-election debate roundtables that we had. He's been a recurring guest on here at America Off the Rails. And when we can get it set up and get it prepped in time, we actually do run his show over here on Sundays. Usually it runs at about 10 Central. So if you like hearing...
3 o'clock.
Well, no, for us it runs 10 Central. What time does it run for you?
3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time at gwradio.com.
So yeah, go check it out there live if you can. If you can't, make sure you check here. We usually have it up and running by about 11 Eastern. Well, actually, it'll be about 10 Eastern now, because actually on Sunday nights I'm on 11 Eastern now. But this is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. I'll be back with you live tomorrow night for a double shot. First, Jen and Rick at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and then back with you on America Off the Rails at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Have a good folks. Take